So, a joint task force among the people, Democrats, Republicans, capitalists, socialists, liberal, conservative, doesn't matter. Let's come together. Everybody makes concessions and we become the United States of America again. Sounds all great, sounds all fine and dandy, but Loki, I don't know how I really feel about this. So, this is not going to be a regular video where I say, I love this, I don't like this, I support this, I don't support this. This is literally me trying to have a conversation because you guys, I really don't know how I feel about this. I'm a capitalist, okay? I'm a capitalist with morals. And I don't know if conservatives really should be making concessions to have this, the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of a coalition with the socialists of America. Do you?
We laugh at the bill, but the numbers don't lie. Do the joke, do the mad moral financer. Financer, 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 moral financer.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the podcast of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch. And of course, take the time to subscribe to the channels of Pocket Politics and to the channel of Moral Finance. Definitely hit the notification bell so that way you guys are always up to date about when new episodes are coming out and when I go live, because that is random. And if you are interested in getting some financial clarity yourselves, definitely hit that link in the description box to my website of Moral Finance, where when you sign up, I will immediately reach out to you guys and we can get you scheduled for a free call so I can calculate your debt to income ratios and give you access to my accountability sheets, both for your zero-based budget and for your paycheck to paycheck kind of a weekly budget, if that's what you guys would like. Definitely click the link to Moral Finance today. Sign up today, and I will definitely try to bring you that help. Okay, you guys. Now, speaking of finances and economics, okay, there's this conversation that seems to be on the rise, okay, among the populists of America, whether you're talking about the populism on the right, which is America First, or if you're talking about the populists on the left, which, of course, that is seeming to be the socialist of America. Now, this is not a little thing. A couple of people are talking about this. I've heard Marjorie Taylor Greene make statements about this. I've heard people like Nick Fuentes, whether you like him, don't like him, hate him, don't hate him. We're not talking about his hyperbolic, exaggerated behavior here. We are talking about the concept of both the left and the right are going to have to make some serious concessions if we want to save America from the evil that is obviously the elite. If you didn't know it before the Jeffrey Epstein files, it is definitely clear today. We have been living in a two-tiered system. We've been living in crony capitalism. And obviously, people want to do something about it because the average American worker is just getting a raw deal here. Now, in concept, I love the idea of coming together, putting the United States back in, play, putting unity back into how we do things. It doesn't matter if you're a liberal, doesn't matter if you're a Republican or whatever. What matters is that we have a shared sense of common decency, morality, as well as common sense, right? Like that's kind of the idea. Now, this all sounds fine and great, but it feels like a hollow platitude because what does this really look like policy-wise and baked into something realistic? Like that is the question. So before I go on with my diatribe, I'm going to play a couple of clips for you guys. I'm going to start with a clip with Marjorie Taylor Greene having a conversation with Jillian Michaels, okay? And then after that, I'm going to show you a clip with Mom Donnie because really these two combined kind of makes you wonder, is this really a good idea? So let's go ahead, dive right into it, and let's play these clips, shall we? All right, guys, so this is the clip here. I'm going to let it play, and I will give you my view on this after the clip is played. Okay, let's go ahead and let's run it.
Tell me where I'm right and I'm wrong, that there's a movement, and you're a part of it, to bring together a left-wing economic populism and a right-wing social populism that looks something like the following, right? So like an economic philosophy that champions the common person against elites, corporations, billionaires, and the financial establishment, right? So the core belief is that, which I'm with you. I'm with you on this. The economic system is rigged by the wealthy to exploit the working class. Key goals: redistribution of wealth, so higher taxes on the rich and the corporations to fund public services. Tell me if I'm getting this right or wrong. Strong social safety nets.
Okay, so seems to me that the economics of this policy is definitely favoring the socialist. I don't really like that. I'm going to fast forward to where she gets into the conservative side of things, okay?
And then on the right-wing social populism, a cultural philosophy that champions the people, often defended by nationality, ethnicity, or tradition against a perceived cultural elite. Academics the media, progressive activists. The core belief is that the nation's traditional identity, values, and security are under attack by globalists, immigrants, and woke culture.
Okay, right. So here we have it. On the conservative side, this is on the cultural side. For conservatives, it's for the culture. For the socialists, it's on the economic position. Well, let's get to Marjorie Taylor Greene's position. Okay.
This is for people who feel economically abandoned and culturally alienated. Do you feel like this is a thing? And if so, are you a part of it?
I haven't ever heard it. I haven't heard it read out like that before, and so I don't know that I subscribe to all of those policies. What I am 100% for is pulling the left and the right, the American people, pulling us back together. That's the America I love.
And of course, we love the idea of bringing the American people together, but we do have to look at the policies, because can we afford all of the things that they are going to be, talking about on the socialist front? I'm going to link this interview in the description box, because I do implore you guys to go and watch the whole thing, because Jillian does lay out the entire philosophy of what this joint, cooperation between the left and the right, the socialists and the capitalists together looks like policy-wise, or more talking point summaries as opposed to full out detailed policy ideas. I would assume that has to be debated. I'm going to come out of this, you guys, and just give you my quick thoughts, and then I'm going to show you guys the other clip. So let's come out of this right now, okay? Okay, guys, so you saw that clip with Jillian, and at the very beginning of it, like I said, I was going to clip around a bit because I didn't want to watch the whole thing, and that is just a few minutes of what I clipped of that interview, but, girl got to go to work, so I can't play the whole video, but you get the gist of it, right? On the economic side of this coalition, we are looking to favor the left, the socialist economic system. And that's not fair. I don't think that the socialist economic system is the best economic system. Historically speaking, we all know it failed. I feel like capitalists, conservatives are sick and tired of having this conversation, okay? It doesn't work. It's never worked. In all the history of the world where socialism was in play, it has never worked. It is actually an unfair system. Capitalism is the best economic system because it lifts more people out of poverty. The only thing really wrong with capitalism, which we've obviously have seen, is that it creates opportunity for immorality, greed, cronyism. Like, that's what we've seen. And that's obviously the issue with capitalism, is that the opportunity to become greedy is there. But this is where morality comes in, and the law and justice is supposed to come in to protect the American people from criminality and immorality, such as things like greed, embezzlement, trying to screw over the little guy. Laws should favor the free and the civilized and the law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. And obviously in a two-tier system where there's crony capitalism, that is obviously not what has been happening. Now, the biggest issue that I have with the idea of going with the socialist economic position is because we're actively seeing it take place in states like Virginia, in states like New York. So before I go any further, let me show you guys a clip with Mamdani, because low-key, this right here is why I'm concerned about a coalition, okay? So let me run that, and then I will give you my total opinion as to what I feel about the situation, because whether or not I support it or not support it, I don't know. I might be talking myself out of it, but let's go ahead and let's run that clip now, shall we? I am not going to play the whole thing. Again, we just want to kind of get to the gist of it, okay? So let me just start from here, okay? He's talking about a gentleman who lives in Queens, New York. So let's just start from here, okay?
His forever home.
The greatest thing to happen to me.
He bought it just after graduating college in the 1990s. If you step inside, he even has a stack of CDs to prove it. The retired real estate professional, who was on a fixed income, recently poured almost $35,000 into a new front porch and a new roof. But now with Mayor Mamdani proposing a property tax increase, he feels duped.
Do you feel like he lied to you?
He'll not feel. He lied. Not feel. It's obvious.
That's why Campbell was among the dozens of homeowners in Southeast Queens who turned out for what they say was an emergency response to the mayor.
Mayor Zoran Mamdani, you are out your goddamn mind.
To the mayor, with the greatest respects, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
Right. Okay. So you guys can obviously look up the math, the numbers, all the rest of it. He's trying to close a $5 billion deficit in New York, and pretty much he's holding the city hostage. So let me come out of this, and I will give you my full understanding as to what's going on with New York and how all this plays into whether or not we should have this kind of a coalition between capitalists and socialists. Okay, let's close out of this. All right, guys. So you saw that, you heard that. Now, what is my issue with all of this, particularly with the policies of Mamdani right now, right? Why do I say he's holding the city hostage? If Hochul does not agree to taxing the wealthy and the rich, which she's already said she's not going to do, he's going to increase the property taxes of the New Yorkers, which is going of, the people that are part of his constituency. That's going to affect people in Queens, New York. That's going to affect people in the capital of the state itself. That's going to affect Albany. It's going to do some serious harm. And as you saw in that video, the older gentleman, he was a black gentleman. Okay. So this idea that we want to protect people of color, yeah, nah. Socialism is unfair, and that unfairness doesn't discriminate. It will, however, do the most harm to the working class, okay? If he does not get what he wants from Hochul, he is going to put the financial burden on hardworking American citizens. That man had gray hair. He's clearly elderly, okay? A person of color, nonetheless, who owns his home, bought it after college, okay? And we have said this time and time again. When Mamdani was on the campaign trail, he's lying. I'm telling you, he's lying. The reason why people are responding to him is because he's representing the populist movement. We said this to the Republicans who are running for office. If you do not go populist, you will lose. That's why they lost the New Jersey election. That's why they lost the Virginia election, because they are not running the populist candidate, right? Like, you're just not doing it. Populism is obviously on the rise on both left and the right, because they're making it clear. We're sick and tired of the elite. We're sick and tired of the two-tier justice system. We're sick and tired of this imaginary iron curtain that separates the haves from the have-nots. The idea of the American dream is that if I have a hopeful heart, willing hand, and determination, that I should be able to have ownership of a home, of a business, and or both. And clearly, that's not seeming to be the case. For the last decade, it's been the battle between the little guy and the big guy, between David and the Goliaths, okay? That's what this has been. And we thought that by voting in the so-called populist candidates who are representing Democrats and Republicans, that this is what we were going to get. Is Trump really the David? Maybe not. Is Mamdani the David? Obviously not. And that's why the New Yorkers are pissed. This is not like what happened with the 2020 election, okay? There were no shenanigans, okay? There was none of that. He won because he lied. Now, socialists lie. Socialism is a lie. This idea that socialism is going to help everybody, that this is the best way of distributing wealth throughout the country, is a lie. That is the pitch, okay? Now, either they are the deceivers being deceived, or they themselves are liars, okay? That is what is happening. Now, Mamdani lied. He said he was not going to make life harder for the lower earning New Yorkers. That was not true. And he's at battle with Hochul and holding the city hostage because of this. Now, how does all this come together with whether or not conservatives and liberals, particularly socialist liberals, can come together to fight the true enemy that is the elite protected by our federal government? Well, if we have to concede on our economic system from being moral capitalism to socialism, I'm not prepared to make that concession. Now, on the social side of things, culturally, you need to have a sense of decency. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. Right. You shouldn't be allowed to, sell sex with prostitution. That shouldn't be allowed. I'm for that. I don't believe in pushing propaganda on students. I'm all for that. Should we concede on that social front, on the cultural front as conservatives? Absolutely not. So if we're not going to concede culturally, and I do not believe in conceding economically, because socialism doesn't work. Clearly, we're seeing it fail in New York and in Virginia. Then how can we play this, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, when it's quite obvious to me, and this is the position of America First, that the left, they suck, the government, they suck, the elite, they suck. You have proven to all be our enemies. America First, this is why I love America First, okay? What we're saying is all of you are a threat. You all are a problem, okay? Islam, a threat, okay? Israel, a threat. You leftist socialist, a threat. We told you Mamdani is lying. We told you socialism doesn't work. We've told you this, that unless morality has been re-implemented into our laws, into our society, and enforced by our justice system, capitalism can actually work. Because it's the best economic system to exist in the history of not just Americans, but of humankind, point blank, period. And are we prepared to make that kind of a concession so we can fight the bigger threat that is the elite? The Lord says, forgive, and love our enemies. I'm for that. I'm not so sure, however, if I should join forces with them. I'm not prepared to ride into hell with a water pistol for people who want to implement an unfair economic system. I'm not prepared to ride into hell with a water pistol loaded with holy water for people who think it's okay to mutilate children. I am not okay with doing those things. I'm not fitting to make no concessions if we can't understand what truth really is, if we can't just go out here and live our lives the way we see fit according to morality, work hard to earn and pay for our own lives the way we see fit. I'm not prepared to make those concessions. So what does this coalition really look like if we're not prepared to make those concessions? America First is not conceding on any of those points, like at all. The modus operandi for the conservatives and the Republicans have been concede for decades. That has been the modus operandi. And the effrontery of people to assume that we just got to put aside our values and our economic positions so we can fight the elite. Yeah, I'm Optimus Prime right now. I'll take you all on. I'm the End from Lord of the Rings. It is likely that we march to our doom. But like the scripture showed, Lot tries anyway. So I'm fitting to be Lot, even if it means I'm not in a coalition. I can love the socialists. I can even love the people who did some terrible things because the Lord in the scripture says that we should. It takes some time, it takes some work. But I'm not prepared to join forces with people who think it's okay to steal the wealth of hard-working people, okay, and mutilate children at the same time. You're not going to convince me this is a good idea. So you guys let me know in the comment sections, how do you feel about this? Because I honestly, like I said, I was probably going to have to talk myself into not being okay with this kind of a coalition. I think I've talked myself into it. I don't believe America First should concede. We are not MAGA, okay? We are not about conceding. I'm no rhino. I'm no MAGA. I'm not about to concede on moral capitalism because the elite suck balls. Excuse my French, but that's how it feels. So get in the comment sections, how do you guys feel about it? Do you think we should make concessions as America First? Do you think we got to give up on capitalism with morality intact? Do you think we have to give up on our cultural positions? Let me know how you feel in the comment sections, okay? Like this video, share this video, all the rest of it. I know I've been talking fast, but a girl's running late today and I got to get to work because I got goals. I'm a hardworking, determined American citizen who is simply just trying to live her life as she sees fit. Click that link in the description box if you guys are interested in getting financial clarity. Go ahead and go to my website of Moral Finance, where I will immediately reach out to you guys and we will get you on a free call so we can calculate your debt to income ratios, and I will give you access to my accountability sheets for the week so that way you guys can keep track of your own personal finances. Like this video, share this video, definitely get into the comments. I love you guys. God bless. And of course, because it's me, Kepla.